During COVID, US billionaire wealth went up by $2 trillion. In that same window, the average American savings rate went from a historic 33% all the way down to 3.6%. One group added 70% to their net worth. The other group spent everything they had just to stay afloat. This is called a K-shaped economy, where the top goes up and everyone else goes down. To make this real, I want you to meet Sarah. She's a composite based on real data, representing the average American household. We'll follow her finances through the pandemic and out the other side. Her story is probably a lot like yours. Today we're putting a real dollar amount on what COVID actually cost Sarah, and you, and what you can do about it right now. At first, COVID actually made Sarah richer, on paper. In 2020, the personal savings rate hit 33.7%. Restaurants closed, flights cancelled, stimulus checks landing. Americans accumulated about $2.1 trillion in excess savings. Sarah makes about $58,000 a year. Between her stimulus checks, $3,200 total, reduced spending, and expanded unemployment her husband briefly received, she built up about $6,200 in extra savings by mid-1, the most cash she's ever had in a savings account. Then reality showed up. Households burned through $70 billion a month nationally, then $85 billion. By mid-2024, every dollar of excess pandemic savings was gone. For Sarah, it was groceries first. Then her rent went up $200 a month. Then car insurance. Then daycare costs. By early 2024, the $6,200 was completely gone. Today, the personal savings rate is around 3.6%. For every $100 Sarah takes home, she's keeping about $3.60. One car repair away from crisis. The stimulus didn't create lasting savings. It created a temporary cushion that inflation ate alive. The trillions in stimulus pumped enormous cash into the economy. More money chasing the same goods. Prices go up. Cumulative inflation from 2020 to 2025 totaled roughly 20 to 23%. Something that cost $100 in 2019 now costs about $122. For Sarah's family spending $55,000 a year, that's roughly $11,000 to $13,000 more just for the same exact stuff. And it hit hardest where Sarah spends most. Groceries up 25%, rent up 22%, car insurance up over 30%, childcare up 20 to 30%. So the government gave Sarah $3,200 in stimulus. And inflation took back $11,000 or more over 5 years. You do the math. Now here's where Sarah's story splits from someone else's. While Sarah was watching her savings evaporate, US billionaire wealth increased by $2.07 trillion. Elon Musk went from $25 billion to over $1 trillion, a 2,800% increase. From the same economy squeezing Sarah, the S&P 500 has climbed over 130% since March 2020. If you owned stocks, you got dramatically richer. If you didn't, like Sarah, who had no brokerage account, no 401k because her employer didn't offer one, nothing doubled for you. That's the K, the top arm, asset owners. The bottom arm, wage earners without investments. Same pandemic, same economy, two completely different outcomes. Here's the part that doesn't make headlines. The K-shape isn't rich versus poor. It's who owned assets versus who didn't. Let's run an alternate version. Imagine a second Sarah. Same income, same job. But this one set up an automatic $200 a month into a total market index fund starting at 27. When the March 2020 crash hit, her portfolio dropped 34%. Terrifying. But she didn't sell. Her auto contributions kept buying at the lowest prices in years. By 2026, that portfolio has more than doubled from the bottom. Meanwhile, our real Sarah spent her savings cushion on groceries. Same crisis, same income, completely different 6-year outcome. The only difference was one decision made years earlier: automate $200 a month into an index fund. That one decision, made before the crisis, is worth over $50,000 in today's difference. Not because the second Sarah is smarter, because she owned something when the recovery happened. So what does the real Sarah do now? Here's her plan going forward. Step 1. She opens a brokerage account this week. 1 share of VTI. She's now on the upper arm of the K. Not rich, but she owns something that participates in the recovery when the next crisis hits. Step 2. She sets up automatic contributions, even $50 a month, before she can talk herself out of it. The people who came out ahead during COVID weren't smarter. They had auto invest running. Step 3. She rebuilds the emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. Not to invest, to protect her investments. So she never has to sell more at the worst possible time. 1 year from now, Sarah's portfolio might only be $3,000. That's fine. It's $3,000 she didn't have, and it's on the side of the K that goes up. The next crisis won't wait for Sarah to be ready. The pandemic was the rehearsal. What she builds now is what carries her through. The pandemic took more than it gave. The system didn't distribute the recovery equally. But the tools to get on the right side of the K have never been cheaper. 1 share, 1 auto invest, 1 emergency fund, 3 moves. That's 3 clear money moves. If this helped, subscribing costs nothing. I break down where money actually moves every week. And we'll check back in on Sarah's portfolio next video. See you then.